Okay, all right. So I just want to highlight some important point around Australian dollar. This is on the daily time frame, and here we got a blue semaphore. I'm expecting this blue semaphore to be red or at least yellow on the H4, which is going into the other side of the waves. But before I can discuss this particular semaphore, let's have a look a bar before that one, which is this bar. Now you can see on this particular bar, the spread is quite high from here to here, and the bar actually is closing on the low of the bar, right? So the low side of the bar is closing, and at the same time we have a higher volume compared with the other three bars up here. So you can see 1, 2, and the 3 bars, or at least from the 2 bars is higher volume than previous 2 bars. So I consider this one as a significant information. The bar after that, right after that, is closing below the low of the previous bar with the narrow spread and the volume lower than previous 2 bar. I consider this is very significant. And what does it mean? That the supply was coming from here, and I think it's the supply is drying up here. When the supply dry up, the prices needs to go up. So when we see this kind of signal, we need to have some confirmation, like exactly what happened and how it works. So we use 3 time frame: daily, H4, and at H1. So let's shift to the H4 time frame and see if this the blue semaphore, which is actually form other side of the filter line. So expect that this will be something called maybe around yellow semaphore other side of this wave on the H4. All right, we forgot to mark the line. Hang on. So here we mark this part, and now we go to the H4. So that's your H4, and this is where what you got your yellow semaphore. Now look at the yellow semaphore's particular information. Again, compare with the price volume. The bar is significantly widespread bar. The volume is lower than the previous few bars. So for example, like this is the high volume up here. After that, market comes down on the low volume, then it's try to push out once more with a slightly higher volume, but it's not as high as the other one. So I consider that's again a significant information. I'm expecting the next bar should be closing higher, which it does with the low volume, and that's confirmed that the market should reverse from here. So if you can see that if you mark this particular area, then you will get a signal on the lower time frame. So let's go to the H1 now, and on the H1 you will see that should be the royal. Okay, so this is where we got H1, and of course this is the daily time frame. So daily time frame, when you turn into the H1, then it's mean that you're talking about 24 bars. So 24 bars start from here, and it's maybe ends from here. So you can just look at here. So from this end right up to here, it's 25 bars. So this is where we are exactly, right? 23, 24. So this is where the day actually ends, right up here, right? Now, the important thing what you need to know on this area, you got this bar, a widespread bar with the high volume, and the high volume is closing above of the middle of the bar, the height of the bar, right? So in the upper part of the bar is closing. That's a significant. It means that the supply is actually coming into the market, and it's basically now a kind of a stopping volume. So the supply is coming in, and the buyer is jump in, and they try to stop the market. So that's we call, they're trying to stop the market going further down, and this is what we call the stopping volume. So I consider this is a stopping volume, but this stopping volume is not significant, only not sufficient for me to consider any reversal, because I want to see the market either lower than this one or at least at this level with the low volume to tell me that yes, market is now ready to reverse. So I mark high of this and the low of this bar, and also I mark the close of this bar, right? So I mark these three trend lines, and all I'm looking is market to actually retest this level with the low volume. That's the only thing I want to see. So market goes up, it's come down up here, and you can see that all those are low volume, significantly lower than this one. So this is your another kind of a confirmation. If you want to move the market to the higher, you got another one here, but I don't think so. That's Royal Semaphore was here previously or here. So it's just touching up here and it's going back up here. So you got one entry here, your stop loss will be here, you will be stopped out. But when you see the Royal Semaphore, that's Royal Semaphore with the low volume right up here. That's the significant information that the market is going to reverse from here on, right? So this is the first thing. The second thing, you wait for the prices to move up, come down again, retest, and when it actually retest on those areas, that's your entry criteria or entry bar. I normally look for 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern after the Royal, and especially if you have a low volume, then there is a confirmation that your market is going to go from here onwards. So my entry will be here on this bar, and also I see that volume is very low on this particular one. So it's all confirming that the significantly the market is ready to move up. So let me summarize this one again. The first sign we see is a high volume, wide spread bar, and after that we see right up here a low volume, but it's not near the low of this one, right? So market retest here, the volume is higher than the previous 2-3 bars up here. As you can see, all those bars up here. So this is again is a retesting of those previous support level. Market move up again, then it's come down again, and here at this stage we can simply see just the Royal Semaphore coming with the volume lower than the previous bar up here, and also the previous high volume around area up here as well, right? So and that's actually another confirmation coming up here that market is drying up, but we're still not ready to trade just yet. Market is move up, it's come down on the low volume, and then on the lowest volume here it's got a blue semaphore, and that's our confirmation. That's 1, 2, 3 is complete, and we're ready to go for the long trade. So your entry should be here, your stop loss you can put it here, you can put it here, wherever you want to put. Based on that one, your money management will actually guide you how big your lot size will be. But this is the pattern we are actually looking on all time frames. So we start with the daily time frame, we look for the blue semaphore and try to find out 1, 2, 3 pattern on the H1 with the low volume testing from highest volume, and this is how you can get the confirmation that market is ready to